Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a book talk video, and this is actually the first book talk video on my channel, and because this is only my fourth video. And the book talk is going to be about a book I recently finished, and it's called Eleanor and Park. Okay, so this is Eleanor and Park by Rowell. And if her other book, Fangirl, is actually pretty popular too. Most people have read that. I've yet to read it. I will read that though, and then probably do a book talk on that. But if you don't know what Eleanor and Park is about, it is like a really cute contemporary novel, and I absolutely loved it. It's about these two teenager misfits, as they call them in the book, Eleanor and Park. Now, Eleanor is just this girl with crazy big red hair, and she, one day on her first day at school, she sits next to a boy named Park on the bus, and at first they really don't like each other, and then they learn that they really do like each other. And Park is just this boy. He's kind of in the popular crowd, not really. He's kind of like in between. I don't know. He's kind of shy too, but I really liked his character. So that's basically what this book is about, and they fall in love. But if you have not read this book, then I encourage you to go read it, and then after you finish the book, then you can come back and watch this video. So if you have not read this book yet, Eleanor and Park by Rowell. Bye! Hello, people who have read the book. Okay, so Eleanor and Park by Rowell. If I would give this out of 5 stars, probably a 4.5. It was only because of this one thing that happened, and I will get to that later on in the video. Okay, so the book starts out, and I like how it switches. Well, it stays in one. It's like kind of switches point of views, but the book is written in second person. Yeah, that's what you call it. And so it's not written in first person, but it like switches sides of the story. So like one chapter or one section may be Eleanor's life, and then one section will be Park's life, and then it just switches off like that, and I really liked that. But the book started off with like Eleanor, and I really felt deep sympathy towards her because of her family and her crazy stepfather. I absolutely hated him. Oh my gosh, Richie, I hated him so much. But her siblings, I loved all her siblings. They were so cute, or they seemed cute in the book. And I felt bad for her mom too, and I felt bad for Eleanor. And then she gets on the bus on her way to school, and she immediately, everyone hates her for some unknown reason. She's just standing there with no place to sit, and people are making fun of her, and she isn't even at school yet. She's on the bus. So then she's been on the bus for like 10 minutes, and people are laughing at her and making fun of her because she has no one to sit next to and there's no empty seats, and I just felt really bad for her. I was like, oh my gosh. But then Park, he seemed really annoyed, and I was like, why are you annoyed? I was really confused about that, because he seemed like angry almost at her for some reason. But he was like, come sit here or whatever, but he said it in a rude way, and then I was just like, okay. And then she was like, okay, thanks, I guess. And then it was really awkward for them at first. They were just sitting on the same seat, but trying to keep their distance at the same time. And then they kind of like go on with their own lives. And Park's family, I loved Park's family. His mom was so funny. I loved his mom. She was really funny. I loved her personality, the character development for all of them. And even though, I think Park's dad, he kind of like a sarcastic tone to everything he said, but I still really liked him, especially at the end. I really liked Park's dad, and we didn't really see that much of Park's little brother, but he was an okay character, I guess. So they're at school, and Eleanor and Park are pretty much just going on with their regular lives, and they sit on the bus together every day before and after school on the way home and to and from school. And Park realizes while he's sitting there reading his comics that Eleanor's like looking over his shoulder, trying to sneak a peek at the comics, not comments, okay? And I thought that was so cute, and how he would like tilt the page so that she could look at it and flip the pages slower. That was the cutest thing. I really liked that about Park. And then how he would give her every day, he would give her a stack of comics to take home and read, and then bring home the next day. It was like, oh, you're so sweet. And then how he made her a tape of some of his favorite songs, and she was like, I can't take this, I don't have anything to play it on. And then how he put the headphones on her head, I was like, oh my gosh. And also, I was so happy because the songs, well, this book takes place in 1986, which was a pretty cool era of great music and cool stuff. So I was so happy when I saw a bunch of some of my favorite music featured in this book. Like they had the Smiths and XTC and some other people. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And how like Eleanor was like singing along with the music, and I just loved that about the book. And okay, so like they realize that they love each other. Well, at least Park realizes that he loves Eleanor. But what I realized by the end of the book, Park would like continuously say, Eleanor, I love you, and then Eleanor would just like either get mad or just like brush him off. And that kind of annoyed me. That was kind of a thing about her that annoyed me. Just like, why are you doing that? And she kind of just like brushed him off. It was like, what are you talking about? And she'd be like, I love you, Eleanor. And she'd be like, okay, whatever. And, or like one thing that was like really kind of snobby for her to say. He was like, I love you. And then she's like, I know.
I know you love me. I know.
It's like, okay then. But, so I really liked the book though. And also, towards the end, okay, so all throughout the book, Richie was basically just an alcoholic drunk who was crazy and just really mean and abusive, and I just hated him so much. I hated him, and I was so glad by the end of the story that he had that the family, we never really found out what happened to Eleanor's family. We just knew that they had left. We don't know where they went. They just like left, but Richie was still living in the house. And I was just like, yes, you go, Park, when Park like beat him up. Just like, go, Park. And also, this is why I did not give the book 5 stars. It would have been 5 stars if this would have been changed. Okay, so Park had driven Eleanor to Minnesota to where her uncle lived because she had to get away from her stepfather, because she found out that it was her stepfather that was like doing all those mean things and writing those notes in her textbook, and he was like looking for her and he was actually going to hurt her. So Park was driving Eleanor to Minnesota and to go to her uncle's house. And okay, so when Eleanor was walking out and into her uncle's house, Park was like, you know you're going to call me and write me a bunch of letters, right? And I'm going to write you a bunch of letters and call you tonight. And then she was like, okay. Well, she didn't exactly say yes. He realized afterward that she hadn't said yes to calling him, writing him letters. But what I didn't get why she did this, okay, so after Park had left and gone back home and her aunt and uncle let her stay, Eleanor like totally cut Park off. Like I keep saying like, sorry about that, but she didn't call him, she didn't write him letters. And Park sent Eleanor a bunch of letters and called her a bunch of times, and Eleanor didn't return his calls or send him letters or anything. She didn't even open his letters. She didn't even open them. She didn't read them. She didn't open them, and she didn't write him any letters. She just totally ignored him, and I didn't get that. I was like, I thought you loved him. He loves you. He's done so much for you, and you just like totally cut him off like that. Like, why? I did not get it. I was like, why are you doing that? And then at the end of the book, we saw, so Park had stopped. It's been over a year since Eleanor had gone to live with her uncle in Minnesota, and Park has he still thinks about Eleanor, but he's kind of gone on with his regular life again, and he had gone to prom with some other girl and stuff like that. But at the end of the book, I was really confused about this at first. I was like, what just happened? And then I kind of thought about it, and then I was like, oh, that little aha moment. Aha. But okay, so Park was laying in his bed just like chilling, and Park's dad comes in and gives him a postcard, and Park's dad knows it's from Eleanor, and Park opens the postcard, and the book didn't specify exactly what the postcard said. What it said was that it didn't have, she hadn't written him a letter, but the last 3 words of the book, it said there were 3 words written on the postcard. And at first I was like, what just happened? I'm really confused right now. Why didn't they just say what was written on the postcard? And then I realized I was either I love you or something like that, or yeah. But at first I was really confused. But I was still kind of mad at Eleanor because she had cut him off totally for a year. Hadn't even opened his letters, hadn't even responded to his letters. I was really mad, but I thought the book was so sweet. I loved it. It was really good. And I sped through it so fast. I was like, I couldn't stop reading it. Just kept reading and reading. It was amazing. But 4 to 5 stars, out of 5 stars, I'd give it about a 4.5. But overall, I really loved the book. It was so good. It was so sweet. And I definitely recommend it to anyone who likes contemporary novels or just wants to read something different and quirky. I don't know, I just really liked it. So, yeah. So that was my book talk about Eleanor and Park. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Oh my gosh. Eleanor and Park. Oh my gosh.